morning, dear students. Welcome back to the virtual class. And this class will be the 9th class. Today, we will be discussing about the second practical program. This program I have taken because you need to understand about the outside class definition. Hence, I have taken the practical program here. And in this practical program, we will be discussing about the logic part as well as the outside class definition. So next, after this practical program, we will be coming to the final topic of this chapter, classes and objects. So the second practical program will be program to insert an element. Program to insert an element into an array at a given position. So firstly, what we do is we will work out on the logic part, then we will try to understand the whole concept of this program, incorporating the outside class definition. Let me take an array having 5 elements. So indexing starts with 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So n's value let me take as 5. Now the elements what I take is 5, 25, 40, 60 and I could take as 80. The context you need to understand here, program to insert an element. Program to insert an element into an array at a given position. So you need to insert an element into an array at a given position. ELE will be the element which is supposed to be inserted. So I take here an element which is not existing, so I take as 90. This 90 could be inserted at any given position. So here the positions are according to the size of the array from 0 to 4. Either the position to insert this element may be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. But the position should not exceed more than the last index, that is 4. N's value is 5. The number of elements are 5 here. Indexing value begins with 0 and ends with n minus 1, that is 4. When we want to insert an element into this array, we are supposed to create the space. When we create the space, we need to follow up that how we are going to create a space. Let me take an example here as ELE equals 90 as well as position being I'll take as 2. It's not a hard and fast rule that we need to take the elements in an ascending order. You can take a random element as well. When you take any element to be inserted, you could insert at any position. Any of the position we could insert. Hence, here for our example, I have taken ELE equals 90, position equals 2. So, ELE should come and get inserted at position 2. If you take the indexing value here, that is at index 2 we have 40. This element 90 is supposed to come to the place of 40. Then what happens to 40? 40 moves on. 40 is shifted to the next position. Then if 40 is shifted to the next position, 60, then here 60 is supposed to be shifted to 80. Likewise 80 to the next position, that is the 5th position. You may wonder that here there are no element, but still we take the indexing value. We can take an array of a standard size as A of 100. So A of 100 means size is 100, but in that 100 elements which you can store, we will be storing around 5 or 6 elements. Likewise, when you are going to take a standard size, definitely there is an indexing from 0 to 99. Hence, we will be able to take the array at the fifth position. So, we will be taking an array something like int a of 100. When I want to shift the element, make sure that if you shift the element from the position, if we have taken position equals 2 and you start shifting from position 2 itself, there is a disaster. That is, 40 is shifted to 60. When you move 40 to 60, the element 60 is destroyed or deleted. So 40 comes over 60. Hence, what we do is, we will not be shifting according to the position value or the given position value. We will be shifting from the last, that is from 80. 80, the element is shifted to the next position. Hence, 80 comes over here. Likewise, 60 is shifted to the next position, that is the fourth indexing. So 60 comes over here. I'll write at the top here, 60. Likewise, 40 is shifted to the next position, and here comes 40. When it is shifted, we need to take the condition clearly and properly that the shifting will stop until the position value, that is 2. I repeat, the process of shifting, when we shift, we are going to shift from the last, that is, this is the last element, what we took it into an array as an input, and this element will be shifted to the next position. As I said before, if we shift from the given position, that is position equals 2, and this second indexed element is, which is 40, if it is shifted to the next position, now we may lose the element 60 because 40 may come over 60. Hence, we start shifting from the last position to the next. That is, the element 80, which is at the index, last index, and we take the help of the next index, that is 5, we shift it. When we shift, this could be the resulting array or an intermittent array where a space is created. So 0th index, what we have? 5 we have. The first index we have 25, and second index, let me create a space here so that you could understand. Then I go to the third index where 40 has been shifted to the third index, I'll take as 40. Next, fourth index, that is 60 has been shifted to the fourth index. Likewise, the last element has been shifted to the next, that is the fifth index, provided that the array should be at a standard size or the array should be sufficient enough to incorporate the inserting element at a given position. One more thing, we need to insert at a given position, the position should not exceed more than n's value, more than n's value. Though we have the fifth position, this position we don't consider as an inserting point. The inserting point will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the given array. In the given array, whatever the positions are there, only that we consider. Hence, if you give a position greater than n, it will be invalid position. So this will be the array where we are going to incorporate. Now when we are going to insert this element ELE, you know the position. So A is the array, and then position is 2, that is, this is the position. We need to give the inserting element ELE. Now what happens? This 90 will come to the inserting point, that is the give at a given position. The position is what? 2. A of 2. 90 comes over here. Hence, I am writing it 90. This will be the resulting array. Hope you have gone through this. Let us go to the programming part. Before I could start the coding part, I have taken the example of this array, input array, as well as if you see here, I have taken the resulting array. that is the inserted element. So the same example we are going to consider, but we'll work out as a program. First, the logic part I would like to work, then hopefully you could just join me while writing in a sheet of paper about the input part as well as the output part. Before I could continue with the coding part, I have taken the input array 5, 25, 40, 60 and 80. Here I got the resulting array 5, 25, 90. You know that 90 was the element to be inserted, so I have taken 90, 40, 60 and 80. To begin the program, you know we need to begin with the preprocessed directives #include iostream.h for our input and output stream, then #include conio to use CLR/SCR, then #include I use stdlib because I'll be using a function called as exit, so I use stdlib.h. Likewise, I take #include iomanip. You know that in your first year you have said that iomanip.h. Normally when we use setw, we'll be using iomanip.h. Then I take the class insertion, then I open a flower bracket. So the private members will be, you know, a class contains two members, data members and member functions, and three access specifiers, private, public and protected. So under private, I'm taking int a of 100. I'll take comma here, I'm writing in the next line. Int a of 100, n comma ele, then POS. So before I could write this program, I told you, I have explained you the variables what we are going to take. Int a of 100, n comma ele comma POS semicolon, then public, the three member functions what we need for input, the processing and the output. So I take void get data, then void, since I have taken insertion, I'll take here as insert because we are going to insert an element into an array, then void display, semicolon, then I close the class with a semicolon. We continue as outside class definition, hence I take this void get data here. So void, you know about the syntax, void, then the class name, what is that? Insertion, scope resolution operator, because we are defining outside. Scope resolution has got the scope of resolving the conflict, so scope resolution operator, then get data, no semicolon, but I open a flower bracket. Function header will not be having semicolon. Here these are all statements. Hence here no semicolon because head will not be a normal statement. Hence function header will not be having a semicolon. Next, we start working on the input part. Open a flower bracket, I say cout. I say enter the number of elements. How many elements we want to enter? Instead of saying enter the number of elements, you can use how many elements also. So enter the number of elements. If you wish to write into an array, you can write, but I'm just saying as elements here and say enter. So which is the variable which is going to take that the total number of elements? Here we have n. So we are going to take as n there. Then we want to consider now those n elements. So enter the elements, or you can say enter the n elements. You can use this way, or enter, you can use the operator there, then that whatever the n's value can be printed, but because of space constraint, I'm writing n to the elements. That means n elements we are going to enter into the array. N done. Next, since we are working with an array, we need a for loop. One dimensional array, one for loop, as I said. For I equals 0, I equals 0 won't be possible if I take directly, because I have not declared I anywhere. Hence, what I am doing is, I am taking this I as a declaration here. I declare I in the for loop, int I equals 0. Follow carefully. Int I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Int I, as I said, I is a variable which has not been declared anywhere. We need to use this I here in this get data. So I has been declared here in for loop, int I. So I equals 0, I less than n. N is the total number of elements. So I starts with the value what? 0. 0 less than, let us imagine we have taken 5 elements there. So n's value is 5. 0 less than 5. 1, next I increments, 1 less than 5. Then 2, 2 less than 5. 3 less than 5. 4 less than 5 is true. 5 less than 5 is false. So this loop is going to repeat n number of times, starting with 0. 0 is the index for the array. Then I take Cin A of I. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2. That's how I takes the value, beginning from 0. So this array will be accepting those n elements having the indexing starting from A of 0 till A of n minus 1. That is the last index what we have. Next, we go on to accept the element which needs to be inserted. So I say enter the element to insert. Enter the element to insert. Then I take endl. So the variable what we have declared is what? ELE. I take ELE. Then enter the position to insert. Which position? As I said before, it could be 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. Any of the position less than n's value. So enter the position. Enter the position. Then I say endl. Cin POS. Then I close the flower bracket. This input part is done in getData. GetData member function have taken n number of elements. Those n number of elements we are going to accept in an array. Then after taking in the array these elements 5, 25, 40, 60, 80. Let us take the same example. So when I take n's value as 5 and accept these elements, then I need to give which element to be inserted. Followed by that, I need to give the position where I want to insert. As I said, it should be less than n. Next, we move on to the logic part. Void, class name is insertion, scope resolution operator. Then the member function we use for the logic part is insert. So I say as insert. Insert. Then I open a flower bracket. Here, when you insert in an element at a given position, the position is depending for to execute this insert. Or if you give a position other than the existing whatever the inserting points, if you give the position greater than n, we will not go further because there is no inserting point for us. Hence, we need to cross check with a condition. That condition is if POS, if the position, if it is 0, we can insert, 1, we can insert, 2, we can insert, 3, we can insert, 4, we can insert, but if it is more than that, we won't be able to insert. More than that, when I say fifth index also we cannot insert because the given array stands with 0 to 4. Fifth index we don't have while in the input. So fifth index also will not be the inserting point. Hence what we do is we take a condition here, if position greater than n. If position greater than n, then obviously we need to say that the position is invalid and we exit from the program. So I am going to write as cout double quotes, then I say the position, close the double quotes, I am continuing to the next line, POS. So POS value will be printed here, the position, whatever the position could be, is invalid, endl. Then I take exit of 0. So here what happens, the control comes out of the program, that is it stops the execution of the program. These two statements are incorporated in if, so I need to use flower brackets for this. Open a flower bracket and close the flower bracket, then we will write the else part. Kindly take down, when I write the else part, I will be writing in this place because of space constraint. Hence, please write down. We'll continue with the logic part, and I have written here void insertion, scope resolution operator insert. As I said that we will be continuing with the else part from here onwards. Else, if the position is not greater than n, then definitely it's not going to enter this if clause. It will be coming for the else part. Then in the else part, we need to write the exact logic. That is, how to insert. Before inserting, what we need to do? We need to create space. First, creating the space from that given position, and then we are going to insert the element. So I take a for loop for I equals. When you look at this given array, n's value is 5. I need to shift from the last element. That is, fourth index is 80. That is the last element which needs to be shifted to the next position. Indexing value is what? 5. When I want to shift the elements in an array, I will be using this for loop. For I equals, which is the shifting point, 4. So I need to take the fourth index and then shift it to the next. When I move on to the next, rather than saying 5, what we say is 4 plus 1. If I want to shift 60, what I say? 3 plus 1. Then if I want to shift 40 to the next position, which is in the second index, right? So 2 plus 1. 1 becomes constant. So shifting from the last position will be something like this. For I equals, I take the last index. How to take the last index here? We take n equals 5, 5 number of elements. When 5 number of elements, the last indexing, it is easy for us to take 4. You know how? N minus 1. That is 5 minus 1 is 4. So the same thing we are going to take. Here, I equals n minus 1. When I take n minus 1, i's value will be what? 5 minus 1 is what? 4. So i's initial value will be 4. Then, till where I am going to move or shift the elements. As I said, if the position value given is 2, as we have taken the example, 2, yearly being is what? 90, position is 2, then we will be shifting the elements from the last till the position. So, i's value must reach the position. I's value is starting with what? N minus 1. I'll write here. 5 minus 1 is what? 4. Then i's value should be what? 3. Then 2. We need to stop. Why we need to stop? Because 2 is the position, till the position. So the condition will be I greater than equal to POS. Try understanding this carefully. Hope you have understood the initialization part. I equals n minus 1. Why did I take n minus 1? Because shifting happens from the last. Hence, the last indexing is 4. How to go to indexing 4? We have the total number of elements here as n. So, this is the reference point for us to go to the last position or the last element here. So, n equals 5. In the input part, fifth indexing is not there, but when we want to shift, we will be using that fifth index because our array size is what? 100. Till 99 we can move. But since 5 elements we have, we take the help of the next index to shift. While doing this, the initial value we want, what is that? 4. How to get 4? N equals 5, n minus 1. Then n minus 1 initial value is I, 4. 4 greater than equal to, what is the position value I said? Can you see this? This is 2. So position value is 2. 4 greater than equal to position, true or false? Yes, true. 4 is greater than equal to 2. Then what happens to I? We need to go back, right, in a lower order. When we go to the lower order, so this i's value which is initialized with 4 decrements, moves on to the previous index, that is the lower order position we go. Then 3, that is 4, 2, 3. Hence we write here I minus minus. I minus minus is decrement by 1. Then I move, only then I will be able to switch over to the previous index, then again move on. How to move now? This is a for loop used to shift the elements. Only the indexing part it is going to work until the position, given position. Then how to move? Let us try to move the first. First element is this for us to move. So 80 we have taken under fourth index. So I equals 4. How did you get 4? 5 minus 1. So A of I. A of 4, what is A of 4? 80, should be shifted to the next position. What did I say? 4 plus 1. Next what? 3 plus 1, 2 plus 1. That plus 1 we are going to consider here. A of 4 has been shifted to A of I plus 1. A of I plus 1. So, A of 4 has been shifted to A of I plus 1. Hence, the element A of 4, which is 80, has been shifted to I plus 1, that is 4 plus 1. So, here it moves. Then the control goes back. You know how a for loop works? Once it continues to repeat, then it moves on to the third expression, that is updation. I minus minus. Right now, I's value is what for us? 4. Decrement by 1, it becomes what? 3. 3 greater than equal to position. What was position? 2, right? So 3 greater than equal to 2. 3 is greater than equal to 2. I'm sorry, 3 is greater than 2. So since I is greater than POS, 3 is greater than 2, once again it moves on. Now the updated value of I is what? 3. A of 3. What is A of 3 here? 60. 60 is moving on to 3 plus 1 position. 3 plus 1. So hence, here 60 comes over here. 60 comes over here. I strike 80 because 80 is here. 60 is here. Next moves on. I becomes decremented to 2. 2 greater than or equal to POS. It is 2 greater than equal to POS. Right? This is the condition what we have. So 2 is not greater, rather it is equal to. It is true. A of 2. What is A of 2? 40. 40 comes to 2 plus 1 here. 2 plus 1. Then it comes as 40 here. Goes back again. Decrements by 1. 1 greater than equal to 2. Is it true? 1 greater than equal to 2. It becomes false. It comes out. By this time, the shifting has been done. So we stop the shifting process until the given position. You need to note that carefully. After shifting, what we need to do? Let us imagine there is a space created. 40 has come here. Let us imagine a space is created. In this space, the created space, we are going to insert the ELE. ELE, I hope you know that it is 90. So 90 will be inserted at the space created. ELE is shifted or inserted here at A of POS. A of POS. So ELE is 90, A of POS is 2, now 90 comes over here. When 90 comes over here, if you check the total number of elements now, 1 added. Since we inserted an element, 1 element has been added. It was n previously. Now it is plus 1. That is n equals n plus 1. That's the reason we take the total number of elements as what? N equals n plus 1. N equals n plus 1. Then we just give a statement here. I'll be writing here. Cout the element, I take the operator, ELE, I use the operator, is successfully inserted, is successfully inserted. I close the double quotes, end L. I close the flower bracket. This will be the coding for the logic part, that is insert member function. The element ELE is successfully inserted. So the element, whatever the element 90 for example, we have taken, the element 90 is successfully inserted. I am not mentioning the position, it is understood that it has been inserted. The third member function is void, then the class name, insertion, scope resolution operator. Here if you see display, we take down as display. Here when we display, we need to display the whole array, the inserted array, the array having 6 elements. So I take Cout, I would like to print as the array after insertion, the array after insertion. Since we are going to take the resulting array and all its elements, we need to be using for loop. So I say for I equals 0, I less than n. You know we have updated value. The initial value, the input value for n was 5, now it is 6. So I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus, then we are going to print it, Cout. I use setW, you know in the previous year we have used setW for creating 4 column space. So setW of 4, then I am going to print the array here. SetW of 4, A of I. Then I say close the flower bracket. This is the resulting array. This resulting array will be printed by using this display member function. So void main, I want you to write. In void main, what we do? We are going to create the object. How do we create the object? We take the first letter of the class. I have used a lowercase I here. I will correct it as I in capitals for our reference for an object. Here also I take as I, and even in get data we need to change it, as well as here in display also I am going to change as I. So let me take the object as capital I, and we will be accessing the members which are outside, in the outside class definition. We'll be accessing these members, including get data, which you had written before, from void main. So the void main part, I want you to write. I reiterate, void main, you open a flower bracket, insert, insertion, I, then I dot get data, I dot insert, I dot display, and you can use get ch, then you close the program. So this is about the second practical program. And further moving, what we do is we take the last part of class and objects, that is objects as function arguments, and further moving we will be going for the next chapter, that is function overloading. In my next class I would like to go for the last topic of this classes and objects. Objects as function arguments. Last year in the first year PUC, you know that we had some arguments. We passed from calling to called, calling function to called function. So this you need to go through it again from your notes. So when I come to the next class, we will be discussing about call by value, call by reference and call by address. So dear students, please go through this class and make sure that you learn this, and this will be one of the important practical program, and it has got a concept of outside class definition and which is pertaining to this class and objects. Thank you. God bless you.